Nervous. Should we just do it? Hey guys, welcome to our channel, Obsessed Kitchen. I'm Chris, he's Simon.
And we are two guys who clearly love our food too much.
Yes, we do.
So in today's video, we're going to show you how to make some fresh pasta.
Lovely, I love pasta.
Yeah?
What are we going to need for fresh pasta?
We're going to start with 275 grams of double O flour, 2 whole eggs and 3 egg yolks, as well as some olive oil and a little bit of seasoning just to go.
Perfect.
So, Chris, if you could pass me the bowl and I'll slide you the eggs over.
You have the bowl, I'll have the eggs.
You can beat them up for me.
Beat them up, yeah. Fists or forks?
Preferably the fork.
Use a fork.
And I'm just going to season the flour, give it a little bit of a mix, just so it's not too lumpy. Okay.
How's that?
That's perfect. So if you can add 10 mils of olive oil to that, on it, just makes it a bit easier to work with as well. All your effect.
Is that alright, yeah?
Yeah. So if I take it off here, and we'll start by just adding this mixture into the bowl there.
What are you going to mix that with?
I'm going to start with a fork, and once it gets bigger, we transfer to the hands.
Perfect.
So as you can see, we just mix it in now. And once you get to the bigger stage, which you'll see in a minute, we can start working on it by hand. It is a sticky business, but so we're just at that stage now. So if I give you that,
Thanks.
we're just at that stage. Just going to start working it by our hands, just bringing it together.
What are we looking for here?
Basically, we're just looking for a rough dough, just so that when it's all ready, we can tip it onto the workbench.
And it wants to be one piece, is it?
Preferably one piece. I mean, it might not all come out in one piece. You're probably going to get a few lumps obviously outside, but you just sort of want to work most of it into the bowl. And then, so what you're going to be left with is something very similar to that. So at this stage, we're going to rough shape it up. Turn those bits over there. Just to pass me the flour. Right, obviously stick that there. Make sure we get the rest out of the bowl. So we don't lose that. And then we're just going to start working it. You just take the flat part of your hand, and you're just going to want to push through the dough, bring it back on itself, and rotate it. And just keep going like that.
See, at this stage it looks a bit dry.
It will look dry, but it's just sort of developing the gluten that sort of gives it this sort of pastry texture.
Science lesson as well.
Indeed. But you're going to want to do this now for about 5-10 minutes. Make sure you mop up those crumbs as well. Everyone likes a good crumb.
True.
You gonna have a go?
How much am I having there?
If you coat your hands with flour, it's going to be a lot easier to work. There you go, mate.
Let's have a go. Oh, it's pretty stiff.
Oh yeah. So you're just developing those bonds now between the flours. What you're kind of looking for. Nice sort of soft texture. It's going to have a tacky resistance to it. Very similar to sort of, I would almost say like a blue tack.
I feel like I'm making a big job of this.
So what you want to do is, ideally, you just use one hand. So you're predominantly right-handed, aren't you?
Yep.
So you want to take the flour here. Also make sure it's nice and flat. And you just want to pull it out a little bit, and then you literally use this bit and push it through.
Right.
And then fold it over, do the same again.
This is...
Tough?
It's really tough.
Builds those muscles, eh? Do you think all those old ladies in Italy, yeah?
True.
Bigger muscles than you?
They probably have.
That's not hard, is it?
Well,
No one said it'd be easy. But it will be easier if you do actually use a mixing machine and with a dough hook attached.
wish we'd have done that.
So instead of about 10 minutes, probably take about 2.
I'm going to buy it from Sainsbury's next time.
Oh, it'd be worth it, yeah. But if you notice, the texture's changing.
Yeah, I can see it changing actually. It seems like it's getting a bit softer, a bit easier to...
So you want a bit more flour down on there.
This is a workout and a half.
You just think, mate, people did this in olden times. They used to make all the little shapes. They'd be like a whole family affair. You'd have like 8 of them around the table, like knocking up some pasta dough. And then obviously the fusilli that you know now, that is a nightmare to make. Here we go.
I think it looks good, doesn't it?
She's nearly there.
We'll let the master show us how it's done. squeaking the table.
You know it's a good night when the tables are rocking.
That squeaky table's so annoying.
Right, so that's all good to go now.
Perfect.
So
What
once
do
we
you
get to
need?
this stage now, we're just going to transfer it into a bowl and leave it in the fridge about half an hour to 45 minutes.
Into a bowl. What kind of bowl? Any bowl?
Yeah, it's just one with the cupboard down there. Just bear with him, he's gone to Narnia. Perfect. Get it, plastic wrap.
King film.
Don't you love finding the ends on these?
I leave it in the box myself and it's easy, but personal preference, isn't it?
And there we have it, just in the bowl.
And how it goes in the fridge for how long?
Half hour to 45 minutes.
Okay, so now it should have been 45 minutes. We've got the pasta machine out. Simon needs to get the pasta out.
Indeed. Right, let's grab out the fridge. So it's had a good rest, so it should be quite easy enough to
I always
work
had a
with.
good rest.
They had it.
I'd like a good rest.
So, we'll take it out of the plastic wrap. Just that there. Oh,
I'll take that.
there you go, mate.
Thank you. I'll take that.
Thank you.
Cheers.
So we're going to start working with it. So I'm going to cut off a small wedge, because
How much? About a third, is that? A quarter?
about a third roughly. Just because anything more, and you're just going to end up with long trails. So we're just going to roughly shape it out.
Yep.
Just so it's nice and flat. You shouldn't need too much flour at this point. But what I would advise is putting flour onto the pasta machine.
Onto the pasta machine.
Because when you go fill it, it is indeed, it's just going to stick like shit to a blanket. Right, so if we start feeding it through, and what we'll do is we'll do a couple of passes just to sort of
I like
go
the
there.
rolling.
And if you want to roll the next one,
I'll roll the next one. I want the glamorous job.
and then
It
what,
squeaks as well. Not as bad as the table did, but
and what I like to find is if I fold it back on itself by freeze, and then just squish the end, touch.
why'd you do that?
Because this way we end up with a squarish shape. So if you feed it through now,
Oh, okay. So it stops it from being an odd shape.
indeed, yeah. So it's a bit more flat, but obviously we've got to
Oh,
roll it
so
through
it is.
twice because the rollers on either side, they are slightly out of the line. Right. And so once we got to this stage, a little bit of flour, and we go down a stage.
Perfect. 2.
Indeed.
Even though the numbers are going up, we're going down.
Yeah. So we're going down in roller size, but up in number size. Passing it through, just making sure it's nice, just smooth. Perfect. And down one more.
Perfect.
So on this machine we tend to stop at 5 because we like to have ours a little bit on the chunkier side. So if we go any more, it's just going to cook in seconds.
It's worth noting as well that this will cook in like 30 seconds to a minute, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. And there's
So if you're cooking something else, you need to make sure that you're pretty much ready to cook it.
yeah, ready to spot on. Just have a pan of hot boiling water on the ready. And there we go.
Like if you were doing this from shop bought pasta, you'd probably cook that like first,
Yeah.
right? Because it'd take like 20 minutes.
Well, especially if it's the dried stuff, it was the fresh
Yeah.
stuff.
Plus
it's
boiling
the
water.
same. Yeah.
Yeah. All that's up.
But so, there we have it. Some lasagna sheets.
So you can use that for lasagna sheets.
Indeed. So what we do is we would just roughly trim off the edges
Yeah.
and score yourself some lovely it's pasta.
Perfect.
Just like that. I would ideally let them out to dry for at least half an hour just so it gives them a little bit of an edge to it.
In that case, I guess that's us made pasta.
Homemade fresh pasta.
That's how to make pasta.
Catch us back in the next video where we show you Scarlett's pasta from the movie Chef.
Perfect. I say perfect a lot. Everything's perfect. You fucking idiot.
Yeah?
Oh mate, take it off, you dickhead.
Well, that's going into the outtake.
Yeah.